Okay? What is a personal relationship with God? What is a personal relationship with God? Like, we use that word and we're using it as a personal one-on-one unique relationship with God. But what does that really mean? Now, a relationship is when you relate to another entity or another source. That's what it is when you relate. So sometimes what happens, I think, is people look at God as if God is a man or a human, and they think that their God relationship or their relationship with God is supposed to look like the same type of relationship you have with a human. Because religion teaches us that God is more human-like than God-like. So my perspective of this subject, a God relationship or a relationship with God, is your relationship with God is not the same. It's not like a relationship you'll have with your friend or your cousin or your uncle or your sister, your brother, or your mother or your father. Your relationship with God is like the relationship of a person over the internet. God is I would call it something like a online relationship, because you're relating to something that you cannot see, but you can talk to it, you can ask it questions, and it will respond. And the relationship is not based on God knowing you. The relationship is based on you knowing that God exists and understanding that there is a higher power, and understanding that you need to, there are things that there are ways that the world operate, and in order to understand them a little bit better, you have to know that God exists. So your relationship with God is not a relationship, oh, I know him, or I know God, or God knows me, and all this other stuff. Your relationship with God is just knowing that God exists. Your relationship with God is knowing that God created things that you don't understand. God does things that you don't understand. God is bigger than your understanding. That's as far as your relationship with God goes. Your relationship with God is just knowing that it's a higher power other than yourself. It's not about him being your best friend. It's not about him being your mechanic. When we start putting God in these type of boxes and using these types of examples to describe our relationship with God, we're actually giving God the identity of a man. If God is a mechanic, then that means he a man. If God is a doctor, then that means he a man. How could God be a man or a doctor or a mechanic? God can't be those things, because God is God. God is bigger than what man creates. So our relationship with God is not even like our father or our dad or our mom or our husband or our wife. How could God be these things when God is not a human? The husband and the wife was created by man. So why do we give God this man characteristic when God is not man? We think of God as a man because religion teaches us that God is man. That's why we say he, him, mechanic, doctor, lawyer. God is not those things. Men are those things. God is bigger than those things. It's an insult to call a higher power a doctor or a lawyer. Like doctors and lawyers are lower level things. A mechanic, that's a lower level thing. That's not even, God is not nowhere near the level of intelligence as a mechanic or a doctor or a lawyer. But people use all these examples in church when they're trying to describe God, and that gives people the wrong perspective of God. So you're praying and asking God to do manly things. You're expecting God to do humanly possible things. That's why you're not able to do humanly possible things. You're waiting on God to do things that you should be doing for yourself, because your idea of God is a man that's supposed to hold your hand while you do something. This is just something for you to think about, and this is something that I was thinking about. So you just subscribe. We got some spectators on the side. Just subscribe if you like. If you have something to say or a comment. But I know I'm on to something with this. You know. So I'm out.